Today we're going to be showing you a complete beginner's guide for the iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus. In this video, we'll be showing you everything you need to know to become an iPhone 7 expert. Now this video is great for someone who's just starting out with an iPhone, maybe someone who's switched over from Android, or even people who just want to see everything their new iPhone can do. Now we're going to be using the iPhone 7 in this video, but it works exactly the same for the iPhone 7 Plus. The Plus just has a slightly larger screen and also has a double camera on the back. Now in this video we also have specific chapters, so that's how the video is broken up into a few different chapters on each topic that we're going to be discussing for your new iPhone 7. Now if at any time you want to take a look at those chapters, you can go into the description below and you'll see quick links for every chapter in this video. This is also great if you want to watch this video again in the future and find exactly what you're looking for. So I do recommend bookmarking this video if you ever need to come back to it later. Alright, let's get started on the complete beginner's guide for the iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus. So before we even turn the phone on, I wanted to cover some of the physical features of your new phone so you know what we're talking about when we refer to them later on in the video. So of course at the front of your phone you do have the screen, and underneath the screen you have the new iPhone 7 home button. Now this home button is a little bit different than previous buttons in that it doesn't fully click down, but it still acts exactly the same as previous iPhones. So you just need to know how to use the home button in order to interact with it. So with the home button you can either tap, which is fully pressing down to interact with your phone, and that's going to have a physical interaction with your phone, such as turning your phone on. Or you could simply press your thumb against the phone or whatever finger you registered for Touch ID, and that'll activate Touch ID. So you don't need to fully click down in order to activate Touch ID. You can just simply rest your thumb or finger over the home button. So those are the two ways to interact with the home button, and of course we'll go over Touch ID a little bit more later on. So with the home button you can either, when your phone's off, turn your phone on like so, just by pressing down. Or if you're in an application, you can click the home button in order to exit out of that app. Now you can also double click the home button in short succession, so it's 1, 2, just like that, and you'll access multitasking, which we'll go over a little bit more later on in the video. So now we can also take a look at the top of the front of your phone, and you're able to see that you do have a speaker, and right next to the speaker you do have a front-facing camera that's going to allow you to take pictures of yourself without having to turn the phone all the way around. So it's a little hard to see, but there is a camera right there, and there's also a speaker. Now if we flip the phone around, you can take a look at what's on the back of your phone, and besides whatever color you chose and of course the Apple logo, you're going to see a camera at the top, and this is where one of those differences between the iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus comes into play. If you had the iPhone 7 Plus, you'd actually see two cameras built into one, but really it doesn't make a big difference in how you use the camera. It just means it'll be a little bit better on the iPhone 7 Plus than on the 7. And right next to that you can of course see the flash as well. That's going to really make your photos pop. Alright, let's take a look at the sides of your iPhone. So now we're going to take a look at the right side of your iPhone. So if you turn it so that you can see the right side, first you're able to see that you do have a power button. It's this little button right here, and this is another physical button that you can press just like so. So if the phone's off, just press the power button and you'll be able to turn it on. Now the main difference between that and the home button is if you have Touch ID enabled, the home button when you press it and your phone is off, you'll go straight into the phone. Whereas with the power button, you'll be presented with the lock screen where you can interact with the widgets, and of course we'll talk a little bit more about that in the lock screen section of the video. But it's important to note that the power button turns on the phone, and it's also the only button once your phone is on that can turn off your phone like that. So if you also take a look at the side underneath that, you'll see the SIM card tray. Now you don't actually have to worry about the SIM card tray because this is usually taken care of by your carrier, but that's what allows you to access the internet, make calls, send texts, but usually this is done by your carrier, so you don't have to worry about that. Now if you turn the phone to the other side, you can see that you do have a volume rocker. Now the volume rocker lets you turn the volume up and turn the volume down. Sorry, it's a little hard to see. Yep, there we go. That's a perfect angle. So volume up, volume down. And I'll show you that in just a second, but first I also wanted to show you the mute switch. So as you can see, it's red right there, and the mute switch is pushed towards the back of the phone, and that means that the phone is muted, and it's not going to make noise when you receive a notification or something like that. But if you push, and also calls, so that's what mutes it during calls. But if you push it forward and there's no red, then you are going to receive calls, and you are going to hear that ringtone play. So you can push it back for mute, and forward for unmuted, just like so. Now, besides the mute feature, you can also see that you can turn up and down the volume. So by pressing the top button in the volume rocker, you turn up the volume, and as you can see, you can keep turning up the volume. And if you press the bottom button, you can turn down the volume and just keep turning down the volume. And now finally we'll go to the bottom of the phone, which is a little bit different this year with the iPhone 7 as well. So let's try to get a good angle there. And as you can see, of course, the main feature is this lightning connector port right there. And we'll show you how to use that, but now this port is used for both charging your phone and for listening via the standard Apple headphones that come with your phone. We'll show you that in the next section. Then also on the other side is going to be your speakers. And the other side is just for symmetry. It doesn't actually have speakers on both sides. Only one side will actually have speakers. So now that you know the physical features of your iPhone 7, I wanted to show you my 2 recommended grips for holding your new iPhone. So the first grip is if you're going to be using 2 hands. And that way, if you're right-handed, I recommend holding your phone in the palm of your left hand, like I've been doing in this video, and having it settled right in your palm with your thumb on the left side and your index finger right on top of that power button. So all you have to do to turn it on is to press that power button with your index finger, like so. You can also access the volume rocker using that thumb or even the mute switch, like that. And that way you can interact with your phone using your right hand. If you're right-handed, you can of course switch this if you're left-handed and interact with your phone like so. Now, if you're only going to be using your phone with one hand, then what I recommend doing is holding it like this, which is basically having your pinky kind of underneath the phone and kind of grip between your pinky and your ring finger on your right hand that you're going to be using your phone with. And that's going to give you access to touch the home button like so. And it's also going to give you full range of access for your thumb, like so, that you can access anything on your phone. Now this is a little bit more precarious than the other hold, so I do recommend only using this if you kind of have a case, and make sure that you're careful when you're interacting with just one hand. But as you can see, you're able to interact with the bottom of your phone, which is really where you're going to have your keyboard if you're texting someone. So with your iPhone, you'll receive 3 main accessories. The first accessory is the lightning connector, which is going to allow you to charge your phone and sync your phone manually with your computer. You're also going to receive a power brick, which is going to allow you to be able to plug your phone into the wall using that lightning connector. And also the new Apple EarPods that are designed with lightning connection ability, as well as on the back, and actually this is the fourth, the dongle as well, which is going to allow you to connect your phone to various other audio headphones. In order to charge your phone, you're going to take your new lightning connector cable, and you're going to take the lightning connector end, which is the smaller end. This is the USB end, this is the lightning connector end, and you are going to plug that directly into the bottom of your phone in the lightning connector port. If you look right here, you can plug it right into that port, just like so, and push it all the way until the little lip is touching the phone itself, just like that. So now that's plugged into your phone's end, and you're going to take the other end and either plug this into your computer with USB, or you can plug the USB directly into the wall adapter, just like so. Just plug it in, just like that, and then you can plug this directly into the wall to charge your phone. Now, when your phone is plugged into your computer, you can of course also sync with your computer as well. So let's take this off and now show you how you can use your new Apple EarPods with the lightning connector. So once you have your new Apple EarPods out of their little box, you're able to see that you do have the EarPods end on this side, just like so. And then you also have a new Lightning connector side. Now this is different than previous phones where you were able to get a 9mm jack that went with it, which is going to plug into the other side of your phone, but now it plugs directly into the Lightning connector. So here's how it works. You take the Lightning connector and you take the bottom of your phone and you just plug it in exactly the same way that you would if you're charging your phone, like so. And so once that's done, you're able to see that on both sides of your Apple EarPods, you'll see a right, an R, and a left, L. Just like that, and you just put these right directly into your ears. Now, if you go up a little bit, you'll also see that you have this really cool control, and this is going to allow you in the middle to play and pause your song, and then at the top to add volume and decrease volume, just like that. In addition to that, I also wanted to show you a couple other cool features that you can use the Apple EarPods for. So if you're currently listening to a song, you can also double tap the middle button in order to skip to the next song. On top of that, if you get a call while you're listening to a song or have the EarPods in, you need only press the button once in order to answer. You can of course end the call by pressing the button again. And a really cool feature that not a lot of people know about is you can press and hold this button in order to activate Siri. Watch this. Just like that. Just like that. So as you can see, if the phone's off, you can activate Siri by pressing and holding. Like that. And finally, you also have the dongle, which plugs in like any normal Lightning connector port. Just plug it right in at the bottom, and then you can use the other end for whichever type of headphones you'd like. Now I'm going to show you how to completely power off and power back on your phone. Now what I showed you earlier wasn't completely powering off your phone. It was actually going back and forth between the sleep mode of your phone, which is when your phone's screen is off, but your phone's actually still on in the background. It's still connected to the internet or Wi-Fi. It's also still waiting for applications to send it notifications or to receive phone calls. We're talking about completely shutting down your device, which you want to do at least once a month for optimal performance, because otherwise your device can get buggy if you have it up too long without completely going through a power cycle, which is turning it all the way off, waiting a couple of minutes, and turning it all the way back on. So here's how to do that. To turn it completely off, you want to take the power button on the side and press and hold for 10 seconds, like so. You'll see a screen like this, and don't worry if you want to cancel it, just click cancel. And it's going to say slide to power off. All you have to do to power off your phone after you've held the power button for 10 seconds is to swipe this and it'll completely power off your phone. Now this is good if you don't want to use any battery at all. If you want to kind of store your phone, you don't need it, you can completely power it down. But really, if you don't usually do this, we do recommend at least powering off your phone once a month and waiting for a few minutes and turning it back on for optimal performance. Otherwise, it's the same as if you don't boot up your boot down and boot up your PC, and basically could run into some issues, get a little bit more laggy. So I do recommend doing this every once in a while to make sure your phone's working at optimal performance. So to turn it on like you just saw me do, all you have to do is press and hold the power button until the Apple logo pops up again, and it'll bring you right back into your phone. Now if you do have a Touch ID or passcode, you do have to type in the passcode right off the bat for the first time that you turn back on your phone. So as you can see, it just came right into your phone. Now I'm going to show you how to emergency shut down your phone if it's frozen. So now I'm going to show you how you can emergency restart your phone if something happens and your phone glitches and you can't power it down normally. Now, you may run into this when you're using an application, something happens and your whole phone freezes and you can't do anything at all. And you can't power off your phone like I just showed you, which usually fixes, kind of buggy problems. If you have, issues that aren't frozen, I do recommend powering off your phone. But if you can't do that and the whole thing is frozen, then you're going to have to emergency power off your phone. So the first thing is don't panic. and just follow these simple steps to emergency power off your phone. Now remember, you only want to do this if your phone is frozen, because you could lose some of your data, but obviously if your phone is frozen it doesn't matter anyways because there's already a problem. But that just means that if it's a normal situation, you do want to make sure that you power off your phone as normal, which is the 10 seconds, and then slide to power off. So it is a little bit different on the iPhone 7, so pay attention. The new way to completely restart your phone is to press and hold the power button and the volume down button at the same time for 10 seconds, just like this. Press and hold, and it'll completely power down your phone automatically, no sliding or anything at all. And it's a completely physical feature to power it down by using the volume down button and the power button simultaneously. And then of course you can turn it back on like normal, but what this will do is it'll make sure that any kind of issues that the phone has, it will try and solve them when you boot it back up. So hopefully the app is gone and it's no longer, or not deleted, but the app is no longer open and it's no longer crashed, and this should fix your phone. If there are any persistent issues, then I do recommend, of course, going to the Apple Store or seeking out help online. So now we're going to show you how you can back up your iPhone on your iPhone itself. Now there's also another way to manually do this on your computer, but we do recommend using the iCloud version of backing up. If you need to back up on your computer, the way that you do that is plug your phone into your computer, go into iTunes, select the phone, and then what you're going to choose is Back Up Now, right on the first screen. But that is manual, that's a little bit more difficult, so we do recommend doing it directly from your phone itself. And here's how to do that. So first you're going to go into the Settings application like so. So go into Settings, and then you're going to scroll down until you see iCloud, like that. Click on iCloud, and as you can see there are various things that are actually being backed up in my iCloud right now. So iCloud Drive is all of the different files that I happen to have. Photos are now being backed up through iCloud. So if this says off, I do recommend choosing Photo Stream on and iCloud Photo Library. That's going to save your photos. We'll get a little bit more in depth into some of the settings features a little bit later. But just to back up in general, if you scroll down, click on Backup, and you can either have it automatically back up like I do there. So I do recommend turning that on, and that'll make sure that it backs up whenever you're connected to Wi-Fi every once in a while to make sure you back up your device. But if your device is not backed up and you want to make sure it's backed up right now, then all you have to do is click the Backup Now button, and your phone will start to back up your entire phone to your iCloud service. So that means that if anything happens to your phone, you can just download the backup and you'll have everything back where it started. Now when you're looking to update your phone, the way to update your phone is to go into Settings, scroll down to General, and select Software Update. And it'll automatically check and see if there's a new update for your phone. As you can see, there now is a new update. It's iOS 10.0.1. All I have to do is click Download and Install, and it'll start the update. But wait, don't do this yet. Make sure that you back up before you do any updates, which is why we showed you how to back up before we talked about the update. Just to make sure if something goes wrong, you can recover all of your device data through the backup. But once you're done with that, just make sure you click Download and Install. We do recommend plugging it in to the wall or into your computer just to make sure that it's fully charged once it's done, because it does eat up a lot of battery when it's installing a new update. But that's how to make sure your phone's up to date, and you can always just check that Software Update tab if there's ever an update you need to download. So now that we got a lot of the essentials out of the way, let's talk about the lock screen and how it works on your iPhone 7 running iOS 10. So to access the lock screen, you only need to press the power button, and as you can see, it'll bring you straight to the lock screen with the wallpaper that you have selected or the preset wallpaper. So as you can see, the lock screen does actually turn off automatically within a few seconds, and that's designed to make sure that you don't accidentally click it and it'll waste battery life. So as you can see, when you turn it on, you'll be able to do one of a couple different things. But first, you can of course also see the time and see the date. Underneath the time and date, you'll have any notifications that you recently received, which you can interact with. Now we'll show you how to do that in just a second once we have a notification on screen for you to see. Now on the screen itself, you can go one of two ways. If you swipe to the right, which is going to bring you, of course, to the side on the left, is going to show you the time and date again, but it's also going to give you access to any of your various widgets that you have. So any meetings that you have and any apps that they think you might be interested in, top news stories of the week, weather, maps, all this kind of great stuff. And we'll show you how to edit these a little bit later on in the video. But as you can see, we have all of our favorite widgets right here that we can interact with. So we can go directly from one of these things. We can launch an app directly. We've been in the Settings app a lot. As you can see, we click Settings and we can go right back to that. We can, of course, always just turn off the phone and go back to the lock screen. And we have our widget tab again. You can also search at the top of the widget tab too. So if you want to search for something like the music app like that, you can search for music and just click music and you'll be able to get directly there. So this will search your whole phone. Now if you do have a passcode enabled, you might have to enter the passcode before you can click on any of the results. But obviously since we don't have a passcode right now, it's not asking for that. But you can interact with any of these widgets. There's a lot of great widgets come pre-installed, and we'll also show you additional ways to get widgets later on in this video. So if we swipe back to the main home screen, you can also go in the other direction. Now the other direction, if you swipe in the other direction, it'll bring you directly to the camera. Now we'll talk a little bit more about the camera in depth later on, but it's important to know that that's how you access the camera, just by swiping in the other direction, basically swiping left, like so. So if we go back to the lock screen, the final thing that you can do in the lock screen is swipe up in order to access your control center. So you don't actually have to go on your phone to access the control center. And this is going to give you access to a lot of quick features to edit your phone and make sure that everything is exactly how you would like it at that point in time. Now we're going to go a lot more in depth into the control center and into widgets and into notifications later, but I did want to show you how the lock screen all comes together. So now that you know how the lock screen works, we can install new wallpapers to get the best wallpaper that suits you. So the way to change your wallpaper is to go into Settings, and then you're going to scroll down to Wallpaper, like so. And this is going to allow you to choose the wallpaper both for the lock screen and then also your home screen, the screen that has all of your applications. So click on Choose a Wallpaper, and you can choose between 3 different types. You can choose Dynamic, you can choose Stills, and you can choose Live. So Dynamic is actually going to show lock screens that are kind of like moving around, as you can see. This could be really cool. It does eat up a little bit more of your battery life, but if you're looking for something like this, it's very neat. So you can just choose one of these. You can choose a live wallpaper, which of course is going to have that live aspect set in it. When you press down like so, you're going to be able to see the wallpaper move. You can also choose perspective as well, which allows it to like move in perspective, or just have it be a still wallpaper if you like the wallpaper but don't want to have the live or perspective feature. Now the perspective is really cool because this means that you can move it around, and as you can see, it slightly moves with it. So let's say you wanted this perspective wallpaper, not the live one, not the still, but you want perspective. All you have to do is click Set, and then choose Set Lock Screen, Set Home Screen, or Set Both. And what that'll do is it'll change your lock or home screen to reflect this image. You can of course also go back and choose the default stills, or even go into your camera roll and select any other photo that you have that you want to turn into your lock screen. It's that same way, just choose whatever you like, press Set, and then choose Set Lock Screen, Home Screen, or both. And the lock screen is going to be the lock screen of your device, which looks like this, and the home screen is on the inside of your device behind the applications. And that's how to change your wallpaper on iOS 10 on your iPhone 7. Security is very important, which is why I'm going to show you how you can set up a passcode for your iPhone 7 or iPhone 7 Plus to make sure that prying eyes can't get access to your device. So here's how to set up your passcode. You're going to go into Settings, just like so, click on Settings, scroll down until you see Touch ID and Passcode. Now all you have to do is choose this option right here, Turn Passcode On, like that. And then you can either choose to keep or save a fingerprint if you've already done a fingerprint. I'm going to keep it for now. and then you can enter a passcode. Now obviously you want to choose something a little more complex. I'm just going to choose a standard one, but it is important to note you don't have to just do a 6-digit code. You can click on passcode options. You can choose a custom alphanumeric code, which is going to allow you to use letters and numbers, a numeric code, which could be any number of letters and numbers, a 4-digit numeric code, which is the standard 4-digit PIN, and actually the new standard is now 6 digits, so the old standard 4-digit, and also, of course, the 6-digit, which is the automatic one. We're going to use a 6-digit, and we're just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but of course, I recommend using something a little bit more complicated, and obviously, it also tells me you probably don't want to use this, but I'm going to use it for the purposes of this video, and you just have to type it in again just to make sure that you remember. Just like so, and it'll lock your phone. Now make sure that you write it on a sticky note or something like that. Make sure that it is a number that you won't forget. You don't want to be locked out of your phone. You don't want to have to take that trip to the Apple Store to get everything reset. So there you go. Now passcode is on, and there are a few options, but first I'll just show you how to use it. So if your phone is off, now what's going to happen is, when you try to unlock the phone by pressing the home button, just like so, and actually Touch ID is installed. So I'm going to use a finger without Touch ID. Apologize for that. So let's say I use a finger that Touch ID is not involved in. It's going to say nope and have me type in my passcode. So then I type in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like that. And there you go. It opens right up the application. Now it is important to note, right, that you're able to have the emergency features for this. So if somebody has access to your phone or something happens, they are able to contact emergency contacts even if they don't have the password. So let's say they press the button like so, and they don't know your password, but it's an emergency. They can click emergency, and they can make a call to 911 or also 911 or the equivalent in whatever country you happen to be in. So basically you can make a 911 emergency call from that area. So that is that main access to the Touch ID and passcode. Now we're going to go a little bit more in depth to take a look at what you can do to customize your passcode to make it the best preferences possible. So in the settings itself, you can choose when your passcode is required. And also it's important to note that you can also turn your passcode off just by clicking to turn passcode off. Of course, you have to enter your passcode so you don't have to worry about giving your phone to somebody, them turning it off. And you can also change your passcode as well by clicking the change passcode button and obviously entering your current passcode and then adding the new updated passcode. But underneath this, there's require passcode, and you can choose if you want to require it immediately, which of course is recommended, after 1 minute, 5 minutes, or 15 minutes, or various periods of time after which you've already previously typed in the password. You'll be able to access your device for that amount of time before it will then prompt you to enter your password again. Now, underneath that, you can also choose what access you can have when your phone is locked. So I recommend kind of keeping these the same unless you're going into an area that you know that somebody might try and access your phone in a negative manner. But basically, you can have access to Siri, reply with message, home control, wallet. So reply with message allows you to be able to reply to somebody on the lock screen. And if you don't want somebody to be able to reply to someone as you can just turn that off. But again, these features are all to help you, and they won't be able to access the full phone. Just interact with the various features in your widgets or in your notifications if your phone's off. You can finally also decide to erase your data at the bottom, which is basically going to erase your phone data if somebody enters the wrong password 10 times. It's completely up to you to decide if that's something that you are looking for. All right, now let's take a look at Touch ID and how to use that on your iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus. So if you follow the standard Apple walkthrough, you might already have Touch ID enabled for one of your fingers. But now we're going to show you how you can add another finger, or if you didn't have a finger for some reason, how to add that. So you're going to navigate to the same area, which is the settings and then Touch ID and passcode, and you're going to be able to click add a fingerprint like so. And what you're going to do is I'm actually going to use it with my left thumb, because I already got my right thumb. I'm going to do my left thumb. Just place your finger right there, and as you can see, it'll show your progress as you go. And how much it's scanning your thumb. And you want to kind of get it at different angles to make sure that you'd be able to press at any time, touch lightly as well. And then you can adjust your grip. So you can kind of like get a different grip on this, maybe the side, actually hit continue and then get a different grip, just to make sure that when you're actually grabbing your phone in any normal circumstance, it will be able to recognize you with whatever grip you happen to use. And there you go. Once that's done, just click complete and then sign into the iTunes store to make sure that it's all enabled. We'll do that really quick. Once that's done, it's going to allow you to use that Touch ID for the iTunes and Apple Store. You can also enable Apple Pay, and you can enable iPhone Unlock, which of course is the most important. So now, with this new Touch ID enabled for iPhone Unlock, all you have to do is use Touch ID to open up your phone. Just press down like that, and you'll be able to open your phone without typing in any password. Just press down on the home button. Usually you'd have to press down and enter a password if you have a password enabled. But now you can go right in with Touch ID. Just like so. And actually, another cool thing is if you press down, even when the phone's completely off with the home button, you press down all the way, so not just tap. So with Touch ID, you can just tap it just to register it if you're in iTunes. But if you're trying to get into your phone, you do need to press. So you press and it registers Touch ID simultaneously, and it bypasses the lock screen and goes right into your phone. Of course, if you want to avoid that, all you have to do is just use the power button, and then you can access everything, you know, your widgets, all that stuff. But just like that, it'll open up your device. Now, there was another cool thing that I wanted to show you right now. Now, before we continue, I wanted to show you another really cool feature that's going to allow you to change the way Touch ID interacts with your lock screen to make it more like the way it was previous on your previous iOS devices. So currently, you do have to press all the way down and it registers Touch ID to go in. But what if you wanted to just be able to simply tap? Not even press all the way down, just simply put your thumb over Touch ID like you used to with previous iOS versions. And the reason this doesn't happen anymore is because they want you to interact with the widgets and all those different features. But there is a way to change this back. So here's how to do it. You're going to go into Settings, General, Accessibility, and then you're going to scroll down all the way until you see Home button. And you're going to choose Rest Finger to open. And now what you're able to do when you have your phone like this is simply rest your finger and it'll open up right away. You don't have to click at all. Just simply rest your finger and it'll open. And this is the same way it was in iOS 9 and basically previous versions as well that had Touch ID. Notification Center allows you to see any notifications that you might have received from the apps that you have installed on your phone. Now, there's a couple ways to interact with the Notification Center. The first is you'll see any notifications that occurred while your phone was off right here on the front of the screen. But if you're looking for some older notifications, you'll be able just to swipe directly down from the top of your screen once you're on your phone. And as you can see, I got a recent notification that iCloud Drive app has been added to your home screen. If you click on that, you'll be able to interact and go straight into that application. It's the same thing if you receive a message, it'll pop up. Now if you want to individually clear these, just swipe over and click clear. Or you can also clear all by force pressing on the X button at the top and clicking clear all notifications. And that'll clear all your notifications, giving you that amazing inbox zero feeling. Now of course also in the Notification Center, you can swipe over and there's your widgets again in another convenient location ready for them whenever you need them. You can also search at the top as well. And all you have to do is swipe back from the very bottom to go away from that Notification Center. Again, just swipe down from the top, see your notifications, swipe back up to get rid of them. So now we're going to simulate receiving a message on your phone. So watch this as I send a "Hey, what's up" to my iPhone. So once it's sent, it'll pop right up on the screen, just like that. And as you can see, the screen opens up and you can see the message from the person that it's from, in this case, subscribe, which I definitely recommend doing. And then it says, "Hey, what's up?" So now what you can do is you can actually interact with that message. You can clear it by swiping to the left, like so. Swipe to the left and then click clear. Or you can go directly into that message by swiping to the right. And you will have to use Touch ID or Passcode to do that. And as you can see, it opens right up and you're able to respond to them just like that. Now we will be showing you in depth everything you can do with iMessage a little bit later on. Here's a quick preview. Nothing much, something like that. And I'll show you how to do all this later, but this is just a really cool preview. Look at that. Slam it down like that. We will show you how to do really cool effects like that later on in this video. Just a little sneak peek for you. Alright, now we'll show you what will happen if you receive a notification while you're using your phone. So if you receive a notification while you're using your phone, here's what will happen. You just sent the notification. As you can see, it pops up right there at the top. Now you can actually swipe down on that notification to quickly reply. Alright, let me show you that again. If we close this here and we send the same message again, so take a quick second just to send, we send the same message again, swipe down, and we can now reply. Isn't that so cool? You can reply right off the bat, and obviously it says it twice because I sent it twice, but now I can respond to that message and just say nothing or something like that. Send that over, just click send, and you can actually even see what they send after that by keeping this open. And if you want to exit out, just tap the home button or click the X at the top, and you'll go back right into whatever you were doing. If you're listening to music, something like that, it'll pause it, get everything ready for you to send your message, and then go back to whatever you were doing, watching a video or browsing the internet or whatever you were doing when you received that message. Now there's also another couple ways to respond to it as well. We'll show you that right now. So I'm just going to send the same message again. So now we're going to show you another way that you can interact with the message when you receive it. So we just sent another one. If you want to get rid of it, just swipe slightly down and up, like so. Just like that. Get rid of it that easily, right? So basically it's just swiping up. Sometimes you need to grab a hold of it first. And of course it will pop up with a little badge icon down at the message area to show you that you do have a new message. Now you can also go directly into it just by tapping on it, or you can see all of your notifications, like I showed you earlier, by swiping down. Now let's take a look at the notification center and how we can actually change what notifications we'll be able to receive. So we can update our notification preferences by going into settings and then notifications. And as you can see here, you can see all the different apps like messages that you're receiving notifications for. Now you can choose to completely not allow notifications just by toggling this icon. Obviously for messages we encourage you to receive notifications for that, but for different applications maybe you don't need notifications at all. Maybe it's just a simple game that you play, you don't want to be pestered to play it anymore. You can turn off those notifications right here from this tab. Now another cool thing is you can also choose how the notifications display, so whether they're banners or alerts. Now banners pop up and disappear, but alerts will stay there, and then none means that there's not going to be any notification at all when the phone is unlocked. And of course you can also decide if you want it to show up on the lock screen or not, if you want it to have a badge app icon, which is when the app has a little icon that it used to have on the message that says one message, two message, same thing with phone calls and voicemails. You can also decide whether you want it to show a preview. Now this is really cool for the Messages app, and why I showed you in the Messages app, because if you don't want other people who happen to see your phone to see what text messages you're getting, if you turn this off, you're not going to be able to see what somebody sent. It'll just say iMessage, or it'll just say text message and then the person's name. You have to go into the phone to be able to see it and reply to it. And this is a good way of being a little bit more secure, and that way you don't leave your phone out and somebody can read your text messages from your lock screen. I guess the alternative to do that as well is to not have it show on the lock screen, but I think this is even better because it shows the name and the fact that they sent a text message. You just can't read what it is. And you can do the same thing for all of the different applications that you happen to have installed on your phone. And then there's also additional government alerts as well, such as Amber Alerts and emergency alerts, which are automatically on, and we recommend you keep them on. The Control Center is a great hub of being able to change specific features on your phone very quickly and easily, and to access a couple of quick links as well. So here's how to access the Control Center. From almost any screen on your phone, including the lock screen, all you have to do is swipe up from the bottom of the phone, just like so, and that'll open up the Control Center. Swipe up. To close it, just swipe down. Swipe up, just like that, and now the Control Center is open. So First, let's talk about the top icons that you can see right there at the top of the control center. So the first icon is airplane mode. When you toggle this mode, it will delete any connection to the outside world. Not delete, but disable temporarily any connection to the outside world. This includes Wi-Fi. This also includes your cellular connection and Bluetooth, unless you turn Bluetooth on after you've turned on airplane mode. So you can turn stuff on after airplane mode, but if you click airplane mode, it'll automatically turn them off. So the thing to know there is if you need to turn off connections with the outside world, just click on airplane mode. And obviously it also works well when you're on an airplane. That's what they usually instruct you to do, is to turn on airplane mode. But as I alluded to before, you can turn on Wi-Fi or turn on Bluetooth after airplane mode is enabled, but just the act of turning on airplane mode will automatically turn off Wi-Fi until you turn it on again. So that's airplane mode. The next icon is going to be Wi-Fi, which allows you to access Wi-Fi on your device. It'll automatically connect to whatever Wi-Fi that you've already installed or typed in the password for. You can turn off the Wi-Fi like so and turn it back on. So the colored icons show that the buttons are activated, and if it is grayed out, that means that the buttons are not activated. Now, Bluetooth is going to allow you to connect with any Bluetooth devices, whether it be headphones, like the new Apple headphones that are Bluetooth, or if you want to connect to your car or your Apple Watch. Tons of great features with Bluetooth. You can toggle on and off Bluetooth right here. We'll show you how to set up Bluetooth a little bit later on in this video. And then you'll also be able to see the Do Not Disturb. Now, we're going to be getting in depth into Do Not Disturb a little bit later on as well. But what Do Not Disturb allows you to do is make sure that you won't receive any push notifications up at the top of the screen or any notifications while your phone is off. So it's great to turn on, while you're trying to sleep so you don't get any crazy notifications. But there are some very important settings that we will cover in Do Not Disturb later on in this segment. And finally, you have the orientation lock, and it's easier to show you what that does. So basically, if you happen to be anywhere that's going to allow you to turn your phone. So for instance, let's just go into Safari here. And if we happen to be on the Apple page, as you can see, we can turn the phone to access the landscape mode of the phone itself. But if you want to make sure that it's locked to the specific orientation that you have, just choose that, and now if you try to turn the phone, it will not change the orientation. Alright, now let's take a look at the other features of Control Center. Also in the Control Center is the ability to adjust the brightness. You can increase or decrease the brightness as needed, but the brightness should automatically change to match your surroundings anyways, but that is a way to change it if you need to manually. In addition to that, you can access airplane mirroring, which allows you to take your phone screen and mirror it on your computer or Apple TV. Now that's a tutorial for a different day, but it's important to know that that's how you're able to access that feature right there. Now right next to it is also AirDrop, which is going to allow you to quickly send any kind of images or files you would like from one phone to another Apple AirDrop enabled phone. So here's how to turn it on. Click on the button and choose either Everyone, Contacts Only, or Off. Now what you can do is if you go into Photos and you want to share a photo, select it, and as you can see, you now have the AirDrop feature. I can send it to my other phone like so. I just click on that, and it's sent. And now the other phone is able to receive that. So it's a great way to send and receive photos or files. Now also in the Control Center, once we turn that off, you're able to see something called Night Shift. Now, Night Shift allows you to basically make sure that the screen doesn't have as much of those strong blue lights, which could be a little bit more damaging to your eyes later on at night. It could give you a headache. It could make you not be able to fall asleep. So what it does is it gives you a much lighter tone to your device. You can probably tell the difference. Look, off, like that. It's got a lot of blues. And when it's on, it gets rid of a lot of those blues right there on the phone. So that's something that you can use later on at night in Night Shift. And we're actually going to show you the settings for Night Shift and Do Not Disturb later on in this segment to show you some of the complex features and how to set up the Control Center effectively. Now at the bottom of the Control Center is the ability to access your light, flashlight. As you can see, it turns on a flashlight. You can also access your timer, which is going to go right into the timer application. We'll just, actually we don't need a multitask out. We can open up the control center from anywhere. And then also the calculator, which lets you open up the calculator, as well as your camera. So you can actually access the camera very quickly from there as well. Now if you swipe right, you're also able to see your music, so you can click play on your music. You can also choose where your music is broadcasted to if you're connected to either Wi-Fi or Bluetooth with another device that you would like to play your connection on. Now it is also important to note that you can access these features with 3D Touch, and the way to do that is to 3D Touch on these different features, and the way to 3D Touch is to press a little bit harder. So as you know, with the new iPhone, and even the previous iPhone as well, was the first one, you can now 3D touch in order to get a whole new level of interaction. So the way to do that is to press a little bit harder, give it a little bit more force in the touch. And as you can see there, now you can access bright light, like so, medium light, or even low light. So that gives you some additional features right there in that area. It's the same thing for the other ones. If you can see here, you can now force touch on or 3D touch on that. And as you can see, you can get a minute, 5 minute, 20 minutes, or 1 hour quick timers. Click on that and it'll automatically set it up for you. Same thing with the calculator. If you 3D touch, you'll be able to copy the last result. And if you 3D touch on the camera, you can choose to take a photo, record a slow-mo, record a video, or even take a selfie. Just like that. And we'll talk a little bit more about 3D Touch later on in the video and some of the great ways that you can use it. But first, let's go into those complex settings of night shift and do not disturb. So for that, you're going to go into settings, display and brightness, night shift, and then you're going to be able to change how warm the temperature is, so you can make it less warm. And as you can see here, you can kind of see like a little view of how it'll look, or even more warm like that. But I do recommend keeping it right there in the middle. Now you can also manually enable for a certain period of time, or even schedule it over another period of time to happen every single night. For instance, from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. But we're going to turn that off for now, but just know that some of the in-depth features, and the way to find that is in settings, display and brightness, and then being able to go directly into night shift. If we go back, and of course we're going to show you some more in-depth settings later on in the video. That's at the very end because some people don't like to know every single setting, which is why we put it at the end of the video as well. But we think these are really important. That's why we wanted to show you these right now. So the main one is Do Not Disturb, and this has a lot of in-depth features that I do recommend going in and taking a look to see which works best for you. So Do Not Disturb can either be manual or scheduled. You can actually schedule Do Not Disturb to happen during a certain period of time. So if you want to sleep between, 11 and 7 every day, you can set that time for it not to be disturbed. It's the same thing if you go into an office or a meeting at the same time every day. You can set yourself to not be able to be disturbed during that period of time. Now this is a really, really cool feature. Allow calls from favorites. So this means that if you have somebody saved in your favorites, such as a family member or spouse, you can actually add them to favorites and have those calls go through and bypass Do Not Disturb. Now you can also change this to everyone. I don't recommend doing that. All contacts, so that basically, spammers won't go through, or no one if you don't want to receive any calls at all. I like to keep it on favorites and then only put my very close friends and family in that favorites category to receive calls from them. And that way everyone else will just go straight to voicemail when I have Do Not Disturb on. Now another feature that I recommend turning on is repeated calls. And when enabled, a second call from the same person within 3 minutes will not be silenced, and it will go through to the phone. And this is because if there's any kind of like emergency or something like that, if you receive 2 calls, it's probably very, very important, and that'll make sure that it bypasses that Do Not Disturb. Now at the bottom you can see silence is either always or only when the iPhone is locked. I choose always because I don't want things to pop up, when I'm doing stuff. But you can of course choose only when the iPhone is locked, and that means that it's only going to have Do Not Disturb on when your phone is locked and shut. but if you're using your phone, you will be disturbed while you're using it. I like to choose always and then just manually turn on and off Do Not Disturb. But those are the additional features for Do Not Disturb, and I recommend finding the best one that makes the most sense for you. But I definitely recommend the repeated calls option, and it's completely up to you if you want to allow calls from certain people as well. So now we're going to show you how you can properly use Siri on your new iPhone 7 or iPhone 7 Plus. Now, if you're familiar with the iPhone, you probably know that Siri is your own personal assistant, and you can ask a ton of different things, and it's all built into the cloud to make sure that it can give you the best answer possible. It can even send texts or launch apps. I'm only going to give you a slight taste of what you can do with Siri, but I'll show you how to access Siri and even show you how to find out what you can ask Siri later on. So here's the first way to access Siri, and that's to press and hold the home button like so.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
And obviously was trying to see what I was asking it earlier, but basically you can press and hold the home button. Just like that. You can also press and hold the button on your Apple EarPods like we showed you earlier. And there's one final way to access Siri, besides, of course, you can use Siri dictation, but that's something slightly different, which we'll show you later when we get into iMessage. But for now, you can actually access Siri one final way, and we'll show you how to set that up. Here it is. Hey Siri. Just like that. And I actually have to turn off Siri on my other phone too. Just like that, and as you can see, Siri was able to be activated with those words. So I'm going to show you how to set that up, and then I'm going to show you all of the amazing ways that you can use Siri and how to find out all the different ways that you can ask Siri different questions, the different things that you can have Siri do for you, and we'll show you how to get that as a resource. So first we'll show you how to set this up with Siri. So go into Settings, and then go back from wherever we were before, and you're going to scroll down in Settings until you see Siri. Now in here there's a lot of different functions that you can change. Of course you do want Siri enabled up at the top, and I like to have it be able to be accessible from the lock screen. Now what you want to do is you'll probably see this option, Allow Hey Siri off. I'm trying to be careful not to turn it on again. So then swipe it on, and then it's going to bring you through some speech recognition. So it's going to have you say those words multiple times so that whenever you say it in the future, it'll be able to launch Siri immediately. And underneath here, there's also a couple other features. You can choose the language, the voice feedback, and a few other aspects to Siri itself. So now that we showed you how to set up Siri and also be able to access Siri from those two different ways, now I'm going to show you some of the things that you can ask Siri. What is 1,000 times 497 divided by 3? As you can see, you can ask math questions just like that, and Siri will read you back the answer. Now that's just one of the basic things. So what you can also do, what movies are playing tonight? Is ask Siri something like that. And as you can see, you can get some of the information on the various different movies that are currently playing. And you can ask all kinds of different things. History of the iPhone.
Okay, I found this.
And it'll bring up Wikipedia. Tons of different things that you can ask Siri. It really is your personal assistant. Now on top of that, you can ask them to send messages. Send message to subscribe.
What do you want to say to subscribe?
Be sure to subscribe to AppFind.
Ready to send it?
Edit.
Okay, go ahead.
Be sure to send to AppFind.
I updated your message.
Good enough. And then click send, just like that. So sometimes obviously it doesn't get exactly what you're saying, especially when it's something like AppFind, which is obviously a brand. But other than that, you're able to send messages just like that to your contacts. You're able to launch applications, launch settings. Just like so, it's that simple from Siri. But here's a great way to find out what you can ask Siri. What can I ask you? and then it's going to show you all the different types of things that you can ask Siri to do. And there is a huge list. As you can see here, you can click on phone, and then you can see all the various examples. You can click on apps, you can see all the different examples. Maps, restaurants, movies, reminders. There's way too many to cover today, but as you can see here, there's a lot of different things that you can ask Siri to do for you, or things that you can ask Siri to tell you about. So as you can see, there's a lot of ways to access this. It would take way too long to show you all of them in this video, but it's as simple as doing this to Siri. What can I ask you? Just say that and you'll get access to everything that you can ask Siri and that you'll want to ask Siri to help you with your day-to-day life. So as I mentioned earlier, I wanted to show you a little bit more in depth on how to use 3D Touch on your new iPhone 7 or iPhone 7 Plus. Now the main way to use 3D Touch is actually to use 3D Touch on the various applications that you have. Now they do have to be enabled for 3D Touch, but if they are, what you have to do is just press with a little more force on the app and also for a little bit longer. And what it'll do is it'll pop up a quick menu of quick access links, so like battery. You can launch the battery from there and access low power mode, which we'll talk about a little bit later on in the video. You can also do quick links on Safari, such as show reading list, bookmarks, new private tab, new tab, on your phone, on music. You can even do it on the camera app, like so. Take a selfie, record a video, record slow-mo, and like I showed you earlier, you can also use 3D Touch on the control center on certain aspects as well. Now, a lesser known 3D Touch tool is the ability to actually access multitasking using 3D Touch. So like I showed you earlier, usually you have to access multitasking by double tapping the home button, like so. Well, now you can 3D Touch on the side of the phone, like that, and access multitasking. Just like that. And another way to use multitasking is if you are in Apple, right, like this, what you're able to do is force touch on a link, like so, and you can actually swipe up to open a new tab, add to reading list, copy, or even share. Or if you want to go straight there, 3D Touch, it'll give you an example of what it is, and then press even harder and it'll actually open up that website page. So that's a great way to preview what various websites have. You can do the same thing in the Mail app. You can preview emails before you even read them. The final 3D Touch feature is actually hidden, and that's the ability to access the secret trackpad that's available on your keyboard. Now you might be asking yourself, I don't see a trackpad. Well, now you can actually access a secret trackpad using this simple 3D Touch method. Now, you might have noticed up here I did make a typo, and that's something that you might accidentally do. You might be typing, you make a typo, you realize it later on. You don't want to delete everything. You also don't want to use the magnifying glass. You want to go back with accuracy and precision. So here's how to do it. 3D Touch on the keyboard, anywhere on the keyboard, which is touching a little bit harder. And as you can see, it now brings up a trackpad. I can use the keyboard as a trackpad, and now I can select exactly where I want to go, delete the mistake, change it, access the trackpad again, and go back to where I want to continue typing. That quickly and easily, but this is a hidden feature you probably wouldn't have known about if it wasn't for us showing you. With the new iOS 10 that comes on the iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus, there have been a lot of amazing changes to the Messages application and iMessage itself. So now I'm going to show you some of these great new features and also how to use the Messages app. So you might be asking yourself, why are we going this deep into Messages? Well, the reason for that is because there's so many new features that it warrants a section of its own. We'll be covering all the other stock applications later on in our stock app section. But also, the Messages are just plain fun. So I wanted to spruce up the video a little bit with this fun and exciting segment. So let's go into the Messages and see what we can do. So first, I do have to explain how the keyboard works in Messages. So the way to access the keyboard is right down here at the bottom, and what you're able to see is the ability to type using your thumbs. You can either use one thumb or you can use two thumbs, and you can type like hello, something like that. And if you tap the 1, 2, 3, you can access numbers and then also, exclamation point and all that stuff. You can also tap this other button to access additional numbers and various, or not numbers, various other symbols that you might need to access from here, such as a pound sign, percent sign, and so on. So we close that there. You can also see right next to that button, right above that button, is the Shift tab, so you can shift to actually type something in an uppercase letter. You can also double tap this to caps lock, so you can type everything in an uppercase letter. Now, of course, you have the space bar at the bottom, and you have the return key right here, so you can actually return within a message to go down a couple lines. You can hit the back arrow, which is right here, to backspace from the message itself and delete various characters. And you can also add emojis right here, clicking the emoji tab, and you can see that there's a lot of great emojis to choose from. Let's just choose a simple one here. Let's see, let's just do the standard smile. And we can send that, so we can go back to ABC, just like that, and we'll show you a little later on in the settings how to add additional keyboards if necessary. Now, as you're typing as well, as you type, you'll see suggestions right above here, so you can just click on those to fill in the word that you were thinking of. And then once you're done with whatever you wanted to type, just click the send button, just like that, and it'll send the message to whoever you're talking to. Now you can also transcribe a message via Siri using the Siri button right here at the bottom, like this. And then click Enable Dictation. Get rid of that. And click again. You can now transcribe a message using Siri. Click Done, and then click Send. Just like that. It's that simple to send a message much quicker than you would have to type. And on top of that, you can also send a voice message just by pressing and holding this. Be sure to subscribe to AppFind for more great iPhone 7 videos. You can play it back to make sure it sounds good. Be sure to subscribe to AppFind for more great iPhone 7 videos. And then click Send. And you can, of course, play that back like so. And then click Keep if you want to keep that message. And then otherwise, it'll automatically delete the message after a certain period of time. The reason that last time didn't play as loud is because I actually didn't have speaker on, but no reason to listen to it again. We'll just leave it like that. Now we can get into the fun features of the new iMessage on iOS 10. And the first fun feature that we want to show you is how to include images and actually mark up those images, adding your own little scribbles or drawings that you want to add. So to access all these really cool features, just click this little icon on the side, the little arrow. And first we're going to be exploring the camera features. So if you click on camera, you can take a picture with the camera, or you can access your photo roll. So as you can see here, you now have this picture, but if you click on it, you're going to be able to edit it. And with the editing, you can actually crop it, or you can change the filter. So we want to add a cool filter right here. Let's say we want to add Chrome. Just click Done. It'll apply that filter. Take a quick second. And now you can also mark up the image. Similar to Snapchat, you can draw a little smiley face. You can also add text, like hello or something like that. Just type on the text, say hello, exclamation point, and hit done. You can also increase the size of the text and change the location of the text. So you can do something like that, click save, and now it will send that image to your friend, just like so. And as you can see, it now includes the markup that you just added. Now if you just want to send drawings, you can click on the drawing icon right there, and you can actually send a drawing to your friends just by clicking like that. You can change the color and click send, and it'll actually draw it out for them. Now you can also send your heartbeat and various other things. If you take a look here, you can see the various things that you can send. But if we close this, watch this. If you do 2 fingers, you can send your heartbeat, like so. Just like that. Sends a heartbeat. Now we can also go into this other tab, and what we're able to do from there is access various stickers. And these stickers we can send with our messages, and we can send over messages. So cool stickers or something like that. Stocks, stickers, exclamation point, just like that. So now if we go back in, we can actually access these really cool stickers like these Pokemon stickers, which I'm sure are popular with Pokemon Go, very successful app. So if we pull these over here, we can literally just drag them and drop them. Just like that, and they can go right into your messages. Just like so. You can put them over the messages. So like cool, I guess they got rid of the sticker. As you can see, just like that. And you can also swipe over, you can get images as well. So if you want to search for various GIFs or images, it'll take a quick second for these to load, but it'll load up there. You can also get Mario images, so if you want to spruce it up a little bit with some Mario stickers, you can do those as well. So the way to get more stickers is to click this little icon at the bottom and click plus store. And it's going to bring you right to the sticker store where you can buy any kinds of stickers that you want or download the free stickers. There's also iMessage apps, like the ESPN app. We'll show you how to use that, and the weather app, which is great. And there's also Game Pigeon, Words with Friends, so you can even play games in messages. So let's show you how the ESPN one works. If you see here, it'll bring up the scores from various football, basketball, etc. games. And as you can see here, you just have to tap on it and then click send, and it'll actually send the score to whomever you're messaging. Now, in addition to that, you can also start games with other people. So if you go into the Game Pigeon app, we swipe over till we find the Game Pigeon app, we can start 8-ball pool with our friends directly from iMessage. Just like that, and they just need to click on it and start playing pool with you that easily, which is really cool. It's a cool new feature. It's definitely here to try and go up against this Facebook Messenger that has a lot of these other features as well. But it's definitely a lot of fun, and there's so many different apps that you can download, and we're going to be doing a video on this channel later on the best apps and widgets that you can download for iMessage. So I teased a little bit earlier that I was going to show you how to add really cool message effects to the various text messages that you send. So you can actually add really cool effects when you're saying awesome effect or something like that, just like this. And now what you can do is, instead of pressing send, force touch on send, like so, or 3D touch on send, like so. And what that will do is it'll bring up this whole new section. So you press just a little bit harder on send, a little bit longer, and now what you can do is you can do slam, that really cool slam effect, loud, gentle, or even invisible ink, which will eventually turn into the color as they kind of swipe over it. So you can send one of these. Let's send slam. And as you can see, we saw it, but as long as they have iOS 10, they'll also see it in their own iMessage. So you can also add backgrounds, which is really cool. So let's say backgrounds and 3D touch there. Click on screen, and now you can add balloons, confetti, lasers, which is one of my favorites, fireworks, and even a shooting star. So let's go back to lasers and click send. And now this will show up on their device as well, and it's a really cool way to spruce up your conversation, add a little bit of extra elements to it, and it's definitely a lot of fun. So the way to do that is, after you type something, just 3D touch on the send button before you send it and select the effect that you want. And hopefully Apple adds additional effects later on as we go. Now we're going to show you how you can download apps on the App Store, and I actually have one specific app that I know you'll love. So I do recommend following along as we show you how to download this app, but it's the same process for any app that you were to download. So the way to get an app is to go right into the App Store, and as you can see here, there's a lot of great applications. They have their featured page. They also have the categories page where you can click on games, entertainment, books, etc. The top charts for the top paid, free, and grossing applications. You can search for apps or even check for updates, which you can download directly from the Updates tab. But we're going to show you searching for an app today, and I recommend following along and downloading the same app as you watch. It's going to help you learn how to do it, and it's also an app that I know you'll love. So the app is called iBotta. So type into the search bar iBotta, iBotta. And as you can see here, it is a highly rated application that lets you earn cash back, rebates, and coupons just for going grocery shopping. So it is a great application that I definitely recommend, and all you have to do is click on the free and then install button, just like that. I actually have a cloud icon because I've already downloaded it. So we're going to be right back once it's finished downloading. So like I said, I do recommend following along because this is definitely one of the best apps that you can download. It's called iBotta, and it lets you earn cashback rebates just for going grocery shopping. So hopefully you're following along, and once it's downloaded, just click open like that. And as you can see, iBotta, get cash back on your groceries. It's that simple. If you go grocery shopping, I recommend downloading this app. So let's swipe to find out a little bit more. Get cash back at the mall, get cash back at bars and restaurants, and even get cash back for in-app purchases. So now click sign up. And I do recommend using email, but you can also use Facebook. You're going to go in and put in your information, but I do highly recommend putting in the friend code. Go to the friend code tab at the bottom and put in IKEW. That's IKEW. That's our unique referral code, and that's going to allow you to get $10 after you redeem your first rebate with iBotta. And it also helps to support our show. We did this whole episode completely free, available to you online, so this helps support us. But it also helps you because you're going to be able to get instant cashback rebates on your grocery shopping purchases, and you'll get $10 when you use this code and redeem your first rebate within 1 month. So be sure to download iBotta, type in the code IKEW, and let's get started and take a look inside the application. So once you've entered our code and filled out your information, you'll be brought right into the iBotta app. And you'll instantly see that there's tons of ways to save money. But the best way is to save money on groceries, shopping at pharmacies, or your local stores. So if you take a look here, you scroll down a grocery, you can click on whatever grocery store you're going to. You can also swipe through the top here to see some of the featured deals. As you can see, Chobani, a really great yogurt brand, you can save $1. With Whole Fruit, you can save $1. You can get rebates on Oreos, rebates on jerky. Look at that, $2.50. So if you're interested in something, just click on it and it'll bring it up. Crave jerky. So if you were going to buy this anyways, you'd be able to get $2.50 back. So we'll click back, click close here. But maybe you don't find something that you like in the featured tab. Well, there are over 300 rebates at Walmart and hundreds more at all of your favorite stores. So you choose the store nearby that has a lot of rebates, you click on it, and you'll be able to see its own featured rebates right up at the top, and you'll also be able to see what's hot. So like right here, Honey Bunches of Oats. If you take a look at this, you're able to get 50 cents cash back just by quickly watching a video. So you just have to watch this quick video, and it's going to tell you a little bit about the product. So we'll skip ahead real quick. And once the video is done, you'll unlock a 50-cent rebate just like that. And all you have to do at the end of your shopping trip is click Verify Purchases, scan the product barcode, and scan the QR code at the top of your Walmart receipt. And you'll instantly get that cash back within the first 24 hours. And on top of that, you're also going to be able to get $10 bonus just for using our code IKEW. So make sure to use our code. It helps support our show and also gets you a $10 bonus. So what's there to lose? It's great. You can win a lot of extra money. So if you look here, you can also scroll back, and there are a lot of great ways to earn money too. So if you look here, Old El Paso, 25 cents back on that. Tic Tacs, 25 cents back. All kinds of different things. Honey Nut Cheerios. If you scroll down, frozen meals, $1 cash back. Keep swiping over. Smoked sausage, 50 cents cash back. Party pizzas, $1 cash back. All kinds of different products that you're interested in buying. Tortellini, $1 cash back. Your favorite cereals for breakfast, lots of cash back. Frozen foods, beverages, snacks, candy, pantry items, even bread. And this is a really cool one. Check this out. Bread, any brand. Any brand at all. You don't even have to buy a specific brand. Just click unlock, 25-cent cash back, automatically unlocks for you. If you're going to the grocery store and you're buying bread, you might as well get 25-cent cash back. And on top of that, the first time that you do it, you'll get $10 additional. So if nothing else, definitely try one of these any brand rebates just to claim your $10 cash back plus the 25 cents for the bread that you would have bought anyways. So that's the whole point of the app. You're gonna buy these items anyways, you might as well get rewarded for it. There's over 300 different rebates at Walmart, and there's tons of different stores. If you go back here, you can actually see all of your favorite stores. These are just the ones that are local to me, but you can choose whatever store you like to shop at and find the deals at that particular store. Now, another great part about iBotta is the fact that there are a lot of paid bonuses. And that's on top of the $10 bonus you can get for signing up with our code. Because if you look here, another $10 September savings. Step up your savings game this September and you earn $10 when you redeem 10 additional rebates. So if you go to the grocery store, you claim 10 rebates over the course of the month, you're not only going to get our $10 bonus for using our code, you'll also get this $10 bonus and the value of all the rebates that you got. That's easily $25 just for a month of purchases, and it's things that you would have bought anyways. You can also look here that some brands have their own rewards, like Kashi. Kashi waffles and bars earn an additional 50 cents when you redeem any 2 of these rebates. If you scroll down here, you can see that there are a ton of different bonuses that actually give you dollars and cash back. Withdrawing cash in iBotta is incredibly easy. You can of course choose one of their gift cards that they have, but they also have PayPal and Venmo. So as you can see here, I can just quickly redeem my PayPal cash, $22.25, click done, click transfer, and after I've typed in my code, it says making payment, and it should in just a second say transfer successful, and it'll send your money directly to your PayPal account. So I definitely recommend downloading iBotta. It is an amazing application. Hopefully you followed along with these instructions. But as you can see, people are earning real cold hard cash back, $7.50, $2.75, $1.25, $5.25. Tons of people are earning money using iBotta every time they go grocery shopping. Even if it's just a few dollars each grocery shopping trip, it really does all add up over time. And you might as well get your $10 bonus for one of those any brand offers, like any brand of bread, any brand of milk. They have a lot of those in addition to the name brand offers. So you can just start earning right away and you'll be able to earn a lot over a period of time. But definitely download now and use the IKEW code. You might as well just get your $10 right off the bat, and then it's a great app to have whenever you want a little bit more of a discount. Alright, the links, as always, are in the description below for this application, along with the code, which is also on the screen currently, but it'll be in the description if you want to wait until the end of the video to download. Alright, we're going to go right back to our Complete Beginner's Guide for the iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus. So now that you know how to download applications, you need to know how to move them. So the way to move applications is to press on the app, but not force touch, and as you can see, it'll start to wiggle. That means that you can actually move this app around. So for instance, if you want to move iBotta to your home screen so you can access it whenever you go grocery shopping. Just like that. Now if you want to delete an application that you don't want anymore, say for instance this game that I have here, just press and hold until they start to wiggle, and then choose delete, and then click delete. Just like so. So now I wanted to show you a little bit more about how to customize the widgets that you have on your iPhone. Now to access widgets, there are 3 main areas. You can swipe all the way to the left when you're on your main home screen. You can also access it on the lock screen by swiping left as well, like so. Like that. It's actually swiping right to get to the left, excuse me. And then you can also swipe down in order to access the notification center, and then swipe right as well to access the widgets on that side as well. So those are the 3 ways to access the widgets, but we're just going to be showing you from the standard side area on the home screen. So as you can see here, we've got a bunch of different widgets. The way that we can interact with these is just by clicking on it. It'll bring us to the calendar in this instance. If you want to quickly launch an app that you use a lot, such as iBotta, just click on that and it'll launch the application. If we exit out, we can go back right over here. So as you can see, they've got news, weather, and so many more. But there are a lot of ways to customize the widgets. But first I wanted to show you this cool search feature at the top, just to make sure that you know how to use this as well. You can actually search your whole phone using this search feature. So if you want to search for a specific app or something along those lines, you can search for settings, and as you can see, the app will pop up and you can just click it right there and you can open up the application. So that's a great way to search your entire phone for whatever you're looking for, not just apps, but it'll also search your emails for you, it'll search your notes, and it'll find everything that relates to the search term that you typed in. So back to the widgets. Underneath this, you can scroll all the way down and click Edit. And this is going to allow you to add additional widgets or change the order of your widgets. So if you take a look here, you can see that there's a bunch of different widgets that you have. Let's say you wanted to add one of these widgets here. Let's say you wanted to add ESPN. Now you can add ESPN. And if you want to change the location of ESPN, you can just choose the side and bring it all the way up using the little grab bar on the side, bringing it all the way to the top or wherever you want it. So you can really arrange everything that you have. So let's say we want it at the top, click done, and now ESPN will have the latest scores, and you can also customize that in that app. Obviously, each app is going to have its own various customization options. So whatever app you happen to download, some of those apps might have their own widget, and you can enable those widgets using this edit area and adding the widgets to your screen. So now we're going to be exploring some of the stock applications more in depth to show you their features and how you can use them. So we're going to start with a little bar at the bottom, which has some of the main stock applications you have installed. And the first is, of course, the phone application. And this is going to allow you to make external calls. So when you open up the phone app, it'll bring you right to the keypad. All you have to do is type in the phone number and then click call, and you'll be able to call someone. Now you can access your voicemail by clicking on voicemail, contacts by clicking on contacts, recent will show you recent calls, and favorites will allow you to add certain contacts to your favorites so you can quickly call them, and this also allows them to bypass Do Not Disturb if you have that feature set, which we showed you earlier on in this video. The main thing you need to know though is the keypad. You can type in the phone number here, or you can click on contacts and find a specific contact and call them. I'm not going in there because I don't want to reveal any of my contacts information. Same thing with voicemail. But when you click on voicemail, you'll be able to listen to any specific voicemails you might have received on your phone. And actually, I think we do have this right here. So when you listen to a voicemail, you can click on it, and you can actually now see a transcription of the voicemail as it's playing back. Watch this.
With this new iOS 10 feature, you can read the voicemail transcript of any voicemail you receive. Be sure to like this video and subscribe for more.
And that's just something I added on a previous video that I made. But as you can see there, you can have a transcription of whatever the voicemail said. You can also call them back. You can play it via speaker. You can even send out the voicemail. And you can, of course, just delete the voicemails very easily from this same location. So that is the phone application. Safari is another great application to know how to use. When you open up Safari, you'll first see the quick links right at the top here. As you can see, Apple is going to bring you straight to the Apple homepage. You can also go straight to the Google homepage as well by clicking the Google icon, and you can of course search for whatever you want on Google. At the bottom, you do have this share button that's going to allow you to share whatever page you're currently on in Message, Mail, etc. Or you can even click to add it to your favorites, add bookmark, add to reading list, or add to home screen. When you click Add to Favorites, what that's going to do, and I will actually say to because we already kind of have Google there, so we'll save Google to, is it is going to add it to your favorites list right here. As you can see, Google to, but if you put in a different website, obviously it'll have that icon right on there. So you click the same button, Add Bookmark, is going to add it to your Bookmarks tab. Save that as Google. So we'll show you the bookmarks in just a second. You can add it to your reading list as something you want to read later, or even add it to the home screen. If you click that button, hit add, it's going to be right there on your home screen so you can access it as an app at any time. Just click on it like that. It's not an actual app, but it takes the place of an app, and you can actually go straight to the website using that easy to access button. Now right next to that is going to be the bookmarks tab where you can look at your history, you can also go to your favorites, or you can see your reading list and what you saved later to read. And finally you see the tab switcher side where you can actually add an additional tab, go wherever you want like Yahoo, and you can even add a private tab which is going to allow you to browse in private without tracking your search history. Close that there, close the tab, and go back to our regular tabs. On top of this, and we're actually going to go back to the Apple page just for this example, you can also see at the top here you can request a desktop site. And the way you do this is by pressing and holding down on the refresh button, click request desktop site, and it actually doesn't exactly work for the Apple website, but if you were on a site, actually a good example is m.youtube.com. Right? So they also have a YouTube application, but if you are on the mobile YouTube site, you can press and hold right at the top there and choose Request Desktop Site, and it'll show you the desktop version of YouTube that easily. And of course, you can also cut and paste whatever URL you happen to be on at the top as well, or type in your own URL using the top. Now, we already covered the message application and some of the great new features with iOS 10. And music is just going to have a list of all the various music that you want to play. So in here you have the library, you can listen to suggestions for you, browse music, listen to Apple Radio, or even search your songs. So up at the top here you can see that we do have the mail application. And to sign in, you just choose whatever mail client you have, such as Gmail or Google. Click on that. Sign into your account, and you'll be able to see a feed of all of your emails and be able to quickly and easily respond to them and read your emails when you receive them. Next is the calendar option, which can of course sync with your Google Calendar as well, and we'll show you how to do that in the settings option. But as you can see with your calendar, you can view the day-to-day or daily activities, so you can click on a specific day and see what's in store for that day, or you can go back and you can see the full month view. Photos is going to allow you to see all the different photos that you've taken, just like so. You can access the camera application, and we'll show you a little bit more in depth how to do that right now. So as you can see, you can take a photo with the camera by clicking either the button at the bottom, which is the standard camera button, or you can actually click the volume up button on the side of your phone, this volume up button right here, and that will also take a photo. And I also wanted to show you something really quick as well that I wanted to mention. To take a photo using your screen, so a photo of your screen, what you can do is press the power button and the home button at the same time quickly, like that. And as you can see, that's going to take a picture of my screen. So you can also change the settings that you have. You can take a video by swiping over to the video tab. And as you can see, you can record a quick video of whatever you'd like. You can also record a slow-mo video or even a time-lapse video. And next to the photo, you can also record or take a square photo, which is great for Instagram. And you can take a panoramic photo where you're able to move the device around to get a panoramic shot. But of course, we just have the standard photo in here. At the bottom right, you're able to switch the camera to the front-facing camera so you can take a selfie. At the top left, you're able to turn on or off the flash. You can also, of course, leave it on auto if you want it to automatically choose for you. Now, right next to that, you have the high dynamic range, which you can turn to auto on or off, which might give you a better, higher quality image in certain circumstances. Now, on top of that, you're able to see the live icon. So you can turn that off by pressing that button, or you can turn it back on. We'll show you how live works in actually just 1 second. You can also access the timer and even directly access filters right from here. So now we'll show you how live works. If you take a photo of that box, for instance, and you go back into the photo, you can actually press on that photo to see a little bit of time before and after the photo was taken. And that's how those live photos work, and they are great when you're outdoors, you're looking at nature, that kind of thing, because you can get some really high quality live photos, which of course you can actually add as your home screen or your lock screen. So we're going to quickly go through some of the other stock apps that we have. So first we have the Maps stock app, which is going to allow you to navigate to a certain location. All you have to do is type in the address at the bottom, and you're able to get navigation directions to wherever you're looking to go. Now the clock application, I will show you a little bit more about this one. You do have the timer at the right hand side, and as you can see, you can change the timer for however long you want. Just click start and it'll count down for that period of time and it'll ring when it's done. You can also see that you have a stopwatch, which is going to allow you to start and stop the stopwatch and even reset. You also have a world clock, which is going to show you the time in different areas. All you need to do to add an additional clock is click plus and search for your city. And you can also access the alarms. And to add an alarm, just at the top right, click the plus button, and you can choose a specific time for the alarm, and then click save. You can also have alarms repeat by choosing the days you'd like them to repeat on. So if you want to repeat them every single weekday, you just only need to tap that. Tap it for every single weekday. Choose a specific time like 7:10 a.m. and then click save. You can also choose whether or not to allow you to snooze the alarm. We'll cancel that there. And finally, we have a brand new feature for iOS 10, and that's bedtime. What bedtime allows you to do is when activated, it'll probably not be activated, but when you activate it, it will allow you to set the time you want to go to bed and the time you want to wake up. And how many hours that will have is right there in the middle. So what you could do is you can just choose the time you want to go to bed, let's say 11:30, and you want to wake up maybe at 7 a.m. It tells you you're going to get 7.5 hours of sleep, and it'll have this repeated every day. So as you can see with sleep analysis, it'll show you how well you slept, but if you go back to options, you can choose which days that this will happen and whether or not you want a bedtime reminder. The bedtime reminder is actually going to remind you, hey, if you want to get X amount of sleep, you probably want to go to bed right about now. And it'll remind you when it gets to your bedtime, or 15 minutes before your bedtime, or whatever settings you choose. So as you can see, that's a great way to monitor your sleeping habits and make sure you're living a happy and healthy life. So we exit out of there, we can go into the weather application, which is going to give you the weather update for the day, and you can choose different locations as well by clicking the settings button. Now you can also access news, which is going to give you tailored and custom news straight to your phone. The Wallet app allows you to add any kind of credit cards that you have for Apple Pay. You can also add gift cards and that kind of thing. Notes is what we showed you earlier. You can write down whatever notes are interesting to you. You can also scribble in the notes too and make drawings and that kind of thing. Hit done, it'll add those to the notes, which is a great added feature, and you can even add photos to notes as well. Now the Reminders app allows you to add a reminder for yourself. So if you want to add a reminder, just click plus, click reminder. You can also add a list if it's like a shopping list. So if you want to remember to get certain things, and obviously be sure to use iBotta if you're going shopping, but you can make like a shopping list with a list feature. Or if you want a reminder, you can say, remind me to go shopping or something like that. And then you can say, remind me on a day, choose a specific day and time, and then click done. But a really cool feature that I definitely recommend checking out is remind me at a location. And this is going to allow you to have it remind you at a specific spot. So say you wanted to be reminded when you get to work to file some paperwork. Click this and you can choose a specific location to remind you at. Let's click done, and there we go. So that's a Reminders app. Now the stock application is going to show you various stocks, maybe the stocks that you're invested in. Not a good, well actually not today because today is Saturday, but not a good Friday for some of these stocks. But as you can see, hopefully you see some greens on the stocks that you are invested in. Videos is a little bit outdated, but if you download any like movies or stuff like that from iTunes, you'll be able to see those videos there. Same with iBooks, so you can read books in that application. The iTunes Store allows you to buy music if you would like. It also allows you to buy movies and TV shows. We're going to not set that up now. The App Store, we already showed you how to download an app. We downloaded iBotta. Home is going to allow you to connect things like Nest, which are basically automated home features. So if you have smart lights or smart home technology, you can add that. Health is a health app where you can put in any information about yourself, and you'll be able to monitor your eating habits, exercise, and even create a medical ID, which is actually something I'm going to recommend. So actually I will show you how to do that. If we log into Health, we click Next, and after you do your personal info, so I'm not going to do this right now, there's something called a medical ID, and I recommend filling that out because what that's going to let you do is have a medical ID that's available on your lock screen. If you ever get injured, you'll be able to have someone choose the medical ID. That works great if you have some kind of allergies or medical condition. We're going to be exploring the Settings app in just a second. That's our last feature that we're going to be showing you guys. And of course, iBotta is not a stock app, but we do recommend downloading it with our code. So if we go over here, we can see FaceTime. FaceTime allows us to make video chat calls. It works the same way as the phone application, except it is a video call. Now, the Calculator app allows you to do simple calculations like this. But did you know you can actually switch the calculator to a scientific calculator just by turning it to landscape mode? It's that simple. So let's switch it back just like that and exit out. Next to the calculator app, you do have the podcast application, which is going to let you listen to any podcast that you downloaded. You have the Watch app that lets you pair your Apple Watch to your phone, and you can access all of the different features of your watch on there. You can update your watch, and that's kind of like your watch hub on your phone. You can also open the extras. You can get access to the compass, tips, voice memos, which is really cool. This allows you to add a quick voice memo, record a quick voice memo, and you can play those back at a later time. Actually, we do have to go back there and click done. Just save that. And if we go back here, you can also see that we have contacts, Find My Friends, and Find My iPhone. Now, Find My iPhone is very, very, very important to set up. So make sure that you log in here and make sure that the phone is set up. And we'll actually show you how to do that right now. So in Settings, to turn on Find My iPhone, first log into Find My iPhone, which is just your standard iCloud account on your phone. And then type in the Settings area, Find My iPhone at the top. Click on that button. And then click on Find My iPhone and make sure it's on and choose Send Last Location. Just like that. So what this will do is it'll make sure that if you ever lose your phone, you'll be able to hopefully find it again by logging in to Find My iPhone on somebody else's device or on a computer. And you can actually see where the iPhone is, see where it last was. You can even ping it with different notifications, or worst comes to worst, wipe the phone to make sure that hackers don't get any of your data. Now, if you take a look here, we also have the Numbers application, which is basically numbers for your iPhone, which is similar to Excel or Numbers. Hopefully, you know what either of those are. You have iTunes U, which is going to have some kind of lectures and teaching, and you'll be able to learn about different things. iMovie is going to be a movie editor. Pages is your standard pages where you can just type whatever you want to type. Keynote, you can create slideshow presentations, and those are all of the stock apps that come with your new iPhone 7 or iPhone 7 Plus. So now we're going to take a look at some of the settings that we recommend taking a look at on your iPhone 7. Now, we don't have enough time to show you every single setting, but we will be showing you some of the more important ones. So as I just mentioned, we're going to be quickly going through the settings to see some of the settings that we recommend changing or some of the things that you can look at. But I do recommend going through your settings on your own to also see a little bit about what you can change on your iPhone. We already did cover most of the main features for the iPhone. These are just a couple of additional settings that you can change. Alright, so right here at the top you will see that there's another icon for airplane mode. For Wi-Fi as well, you can change the Wi-Fi from there, so you can choose a specific Wi-Fi. Bluetooth allows you to pair any device to Bluetooth through this settings panel. Cellular allows you to access your cellular data, set up a hotspot, see how much call time you've had, how much data usage you've had, and enable data usage for certain aspects. So that's what you can do in the cellular feature. Notifications, we already showed you. Control Center just has, whether it's available on the lock screen or within apps. We already showed you how to use Do Not Disturb as well. So we're going to get to general at the end because there's a few specific ones for that. But first, display and brightness. So you can change the brightness here, but you can also access that from the control panel anyways, so you won't need to go into the settings. I do recommend keeping auto brightness on because otherwise you have to manually change it whenever the lighting in your room changes. Night shift, I already talked about earlier and how to change those adjustments. Auto lock is how long it takes for your phone to lock. So if you want your phone to be on for 5 minutes, without touching it or tapping it before it turns off, you can choose that feature. You can go all the way down to 30 seconds, or never means that the phone will never auto lock. Now, I don't recommend that one. I either recommend one of these minute options for the best results. You can also turn on and off raise to wake. And really cool, you can change the text size. So if you need a little extra help reading, or if you want a little extra space for all of the text, say you want to have the text a little bit smaller so you can fit even more on the screen, you can change that here, right in the text size area. You can also choose to bold all the text as well, and there are a couple other features in there. Now, we already explained wallpaper, so we'll go down to sound and haptics. So this is going to allow you to choose the vibrate options, ringer options, change your ringtone. So you can actually change your ringtone right here. You can also change the vibration pattern of your ringtone. You can even go to the store to buy a new ringtone if you want, but there's a lot of built-in ones as well. So you can change those there, and you can also add keyboard clicks, all those different settings in the sounds and haptics area. If you go down to Siri, I already showed you a little bit of this. That's going to allow you to change the Siri settings on your phone. I already showed you Touch ID and Passcode. Now, battery, this is really important. Low power mode is going to allow you to make sure that your phone conserves battery when you're running low. So as you can see, we're down to 44%. We're running a little bit low. If you click low power mode, it's going to turn that battery icon yellow, and it's actually going to make sure that it has no background app refresh, automatic downloads, and reduces the visual effects. And this is really going to help save your battery. And as you can see, you can also see what different applications are using the most battery, so you can identify really big battery guzzling applications, potentially change their settings to make sure that they're not using up as much battery. Now, we actually go really in-depth into battery in the new iOS 10 How to Save Battery Life video. So you can check that out, link in the description. There should be a little card annotation somewhere up on screen. So if we go back there, now we can see privacy. So privacy is going to allow us to change the location services. Now, in location services, we can choose which apps we want to have access to our location, and whether it's while we're using the app, never, or always. So I recommend taking a look at this and seeing if you really want all these apps to have access to your location. You can also change some of the various privacy features in these other applications here. There's just too many to go into in one video, but I recommend exploring for yourself. I already showed you iCloud and how to back up. You can access that from there. I already showed you the iTunes and App Store. Basically, these are the automatic downloads. Wallet and Apple Pay is going to allow you to set up your credit cards and info with Apple Pay. Mail has some customization options, so all of these kind of have their own customization options for the individual apps. If you're looking to change something, I recommend going in here. The one I will mention is Safari. If you go into Safari and you scroll down, you can clear your history and website data just by clicking this button and choosing Clear History and Data. So we go back. And you can also then after that see additional stock apps and then applications that you've downloaded, and you can change those individual settings as well right there at the bottom. And the final bit of settings is right here in the General tab, where you also have the software update. But in here you can change the spotlight search, handoff, which is going to allow you to use Safari in one device and switch off to another. So if you have it connected to iCloud, it should automatically sync that for you. CarPlay, access the home button. So this is cool. If you want to change how responsive the home button is on the iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus, you can change the tap right here. As you can see, you can try it a little bit, change it, and this is how much feedback you get when you tap. Because like I said, it's not a button that actually presses down. It gives you the illusion of pressing down. So you can try which one works best. I prefer 2. I think that's the best for me. Underneath this is storage and iCloud usage. So you can see how much of your phone's storage you're using by clicking on Manage Storage. Actually, that's iCloud. If you click on Manage Storage on your phone up at the top there, you can see how much storage you're currently using on your phone, what apps are taking up the most space, and if you don't want an app, you can click on it and delete it right away, and that's a great way to really free up some of your storage. So we go back here, you can see we also have background app refresh. This shows you the apps that are working in the background. You can switch this off if you don't want these apps to use up too much of your battery. We go more in depth into that in the battery video I mentioned earlier. Now, restrictions is going to allow you to put restrictions on a phone, maybe if it's for a child and you want to make sure that they're not accessing certain websites or using certain apps. You can add those restrictions as well. You can change your date and time settings. In keyboard, you can add additional keyboards by clicking on keyboards and then add new keyboard, and you can add foreign keyboards to that. You can also change the language of the whole phone, dictionary, and right there at the bottom, I do not recommend touching it, but you can reset your phone right there if you really need to, and that's going to allow you to reset your full phone. So those are all of the main settings. I do, like I said, recommend taking a look at some of the other settings if you're curious, but for the most part, the standard settings and the things I've shown you today are the main settings that are worth changing. Thank you for watching our video on the Complete Beginner's Guide for the iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus. Hopefully you were able to learn everything you need to know about your new iPhone 7 so that you can become an iPhone expert. If you ever need to refer to this video again, remember there are quick links and chapter links in the description that are going to allow you to find exactly what you're looking for. So I definitely recommend bookmarking this video, so if you have to come back to it later, you can find what you're looking for using the chapter guide in the description. Now, if you still have questions, let us know in the comments below. I won't be able to personally answer every question, but I'm sure a member of the AppFind community would love to help you. Also, if you learned something new and if you appreciate this video, please give it a like and also share it on Facebook or Twitter or whatever your favorite social media network is so that other people can learn how to use their phone as well. Now, I definitely recommend downloading iBotta. iBotta is an amazing application. You can earn cashback rebates on a variety of different purchases at your favorite stores. I've seen people earn hundreds of dollars through iBotta and even hundreds of dollars a month in certain cases. So you can earn a lot of money on iBotta, cash it out very quickly. But even if you're not planning on using it a lot, I definitely recommend trying it for that first $10 bonus just for downloading the app. Using ikew, using one rebate, you'll get $10 right off the bat after you redeem your first rebate in the first month. This helps support our show, and we created this whole entire video completely free, so it helps to support our show, and you get money as well. It's a real win-win. So be sure to download iBotta and use the code IKEW. All the info is in the description. So thank you again for watching this video. We have a lot more videos planned for the iPhone 7, iPhone 7 Plus, as well as iOS 10. So be sure to subscribe for those videos as well. Click the subscribe button. And we'll be right back with more great content. So be sure to check out the rest of our channel. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.